All right, so I got asked how I set up my classes. So I do teach one virtual section, and I wanted to let you see from the student view what that looks like in the way I choose to organize them. But let me just tell you, that doesn't mean it's the right way. I think everybody really is going to have to find a system that works for them. So the homepage for my students looks like this. I have it set so that the recent announcements are at the top, and I run the class through announcements. And then I have a video embedded on the main page which says to access the course content, please see the current week announcement and then do what's assigned through the modules so they know. I have a welcome video that walks them through basically this. It shows them how to work through the class. I explain virtual days, the course description, and some examples on the main page. Then what the students will do each day is they go to the top announcement. This first week it just said welcome to Photoshop. The second week it will say week 2, and they will click on it. And then I have some introductory information on this very first week, but then I basically put the day and the date and then what they need to do. So watch the welcome video on the home page, review the syllabus page, do the daily attendance check-in, which is at the top of the modules, and the discussion, and then begin working through all of the Canvas LMS lessons module. Several small assignments due today, so get busy. So that tells them exactly what they need to do. They would go back to the home page, watch the video, they would go to the syllabus page, review the syllabus. It has when my prep hour is, kind of the general gist of what they're supposed to do each day. The actual syllabus is here so they can read it. And then the slideshow I actually show in my in-person class from the first day is on there if they want to look through it. Then they know to go to the modules because it said that in the instruction. There's their daily check-in, which I have at the very top of the modules page. And then the module called Getting Canvas LMS Lessons is the one that they had to work through. And so as they complete one, the next one opens up and they can submit each of those activities. And then, of course, at the end of that first day, they work through that entire module. So day 2, they would go back, well, to the home page, and day 2, they would look that up. And we're on an every other day system. And then I again remind them, do the daily attendance check-in. I have a prompt on each of those, so they have to fill out the prompt. And then do the entire getting started module and start the unit 1 module. And then I tell them what parts they need to do on that and that there's a quiz coming up on Friday. And this is the way I choose to do it. Now, I know a lot of people do actually set their modules up like day to day. I like the idea of units. My Canvas LMS is to help them learn how to get around in Canvas, how to upload a bunch of things, look at rubrics, video themselves, like use the tools. This is some more Photoshop specific stuff. We have a portfolio we set up, so I have that in there. And then when we get into unit 1, I have the note sheets that go with that unit, which they were all, I provided those at the school. They had to pick them up before school started. So they already have all the note sheets, but there's a copy in case they need it. And then, for instance, for that that day 3, they had to, or whatever day, they had to do the introductory objectives, understanding image types, and slideshow video. So they would click on it. The way I have this set up, for instance, are the objectives for that unit. I have my video lecture of that unit, and then below it, the actual slideshow. So if they missed any notes in the video, they can go back through and view the slideshows. I also provide direct links to the presentation in case they want to open it up too. But that's basically how I do it. They would go through, click next, and then this one, there was an activity that they would do outside of Canvas. And then, next, and then here's that quiz, time limit. This quiz was only available on Friday from 8 to 3. I had the password for that quiz under that day on Canvas. So that's kind of how I set it up. I didn't want to do specific days. This was the first year that our class periods are 95 minutes. So to be honest, I wasn't really sure how much I could cover in a day, and I didn't want to have to be dragging and moving things around. I do know some people will identify the elements in a module, and that's probably a good idea. I just hadn't set it up that way. So for instance, you might name your module Canvas LMS Lessons and then have like A, B, C, D, E, like put letters in front of each of these so that you could very easily say, work through Canvas LMS Lessons module A through E. Like to me, that makes good sense. I like the idea of using an announcement every day because it does force them to have to read some instructions and not just go in here and start doing things. Also, we have to do daily attendance. So I have a daily form. They can come down here and do the attendance check-in. It should log them in under their Google account. So all they have to do is last name, comma, first name, and then response to the check-in question, which is listed in the announcement, which then proves to me they actually read the announcement for today. Because to me, that's really important. I know some people teaching have said that it's been a problem because they just have everything in modules and the students just skip to the things in the modules that have grades. And I don't want my kids doing that. So you are going to have to make sure kids know how to move around in Canvas. There is a course calendar, and anything you as a teacher have as a due date will show up in their calendar. So these were all things that were due on the very first day. So some kids, depending on how other teachers use it, may literally only use the calendar. Our math department puts everything on the calendar. Everything has a due date. So if they're used to that and your class is doing it a different way, they may tend to want to just go straight here to the calendar. So I do suggest that you teach them how you plan to set up your Canvas and then make sure you train them to understand that navigation, because that is a big issue for a lot of kids. By the way, they can access these by clicking on them and then clicking the word here to open up that assignment. So that is something they can do from here. And if they've already turned it in, it has a line through it so they can tell that they've already turned it in. So anyway, I hope that helps. If you have other questions, whoops, I'm on student view here, but if you have other questions, let me know. Oh, one question I do get asked sometimes is how I put those little characters in there. There is a thing called Emoji Keyboard by Joey Pixels. It's a Chrome extension, and that's how I add little fun things on my modules, so it's not just words, since you can't really make it pretty. But that's what it's called, Emoji Keyboard by Joey Pixels. All right, I hope this helps. Let me know if you have other questions that I can help with.